Giles and I are going to present a rapid-fire polemic on a single issue. So, our idea is work with London's Playworkers to develop design guidance for children in public space. So we have public realm design guidance for all sorts of things, for safety at night to accessibility and wayfinding, but our guidance is surprisingly silent when it comes to children. And the role that design can play in either supporting or inhibiting their social and emotional growth, their sense of belonging, engagement and agency within the places that they live. So children, it's controversial to say, but it's possible to argue that they're one of the most marginalised groups in our society. They don't have the capacity to represent their own interests. They don't have economic agency to speak of, very limited independent mobility and no direct political representation. But under 14s make up 21% of London's population as opposed to 18% nationally and constitute a significant portion of the people that the Mayor's Public Space Charter will serve. I think it's really critical that under 14s, these people are not adults in waiting, but citizens in their own right, with their own rich realities, distinct needs, and capacities to contribute.
Much of the public realm in the UK is designed and managed in a way which puts adults' needs first. The need to pass through quickly and efficiently, the need to find things exactly as you left them, the need to, by and large, have minimal non-transactional interaction with strangers, with a steady creep of measures which suggest the natural activities of youth, making noise, doing stuff with no apparent purpose, occupying rather than passing through, are legitimate targets of disciplinary measures. Aside from the well-publicised issues of curfews, dispersion orders and ASBOs, there is an increasing array of means through which private interests can act against children, from aggressive management of faux public space to the use of sonic devices which make spaces unbearable for the under 14s and are available off the shelf for use without a license.
So this is from the front page of the Mosquito website, and they're a private company that sells dispersion devices. The Mosquito device is the only product on the market that has the teeth to bite back at kids. The mosquito alarm works not by being painful, but by being, this is capitalized, unbelievably annoying, to the point where kids, also capitalized, cannot stay in the area being covered by the mosquito sound. The Mosquito device is 100% legal to own and use and requires no permission at all. It's simple to install, just bolt to a wall or post, and simply plugs into your standard 13-amp socket. If you want to know more about the Mosquito before purchasing, feel free to give us a call or visit our Mosquito information page.
The closest the UK comes to an agreed standard for children in public space is guidance developed by a commercial lobby group, a consortium of playground equipment manufacturers which details non-evidence-based and, as HSE expert witness and statistician David Ball has suggested, ill-conceived and occasionally counterproductive safety standards for a tiny proportion of public space designated as playgrounds. This guidance is held in neither statute nor policy, but the absence of any alternative, they act as a stand-in and are regularly used in courts as best practice. We need guidance that's proactive, propositional and wide-ranging. It doesn't reduce children to gymnastic play and gymnastic play to a series of one-off activities that happen in designated spaces. We need guidance that addresses children's experience of life across and throughout the city and play as the rich, unstable, ever-evolving set of behaviours through which children come to know the world. Guidance which focuses not only on the mitigation of risk, but supports the creation of new possibilities. To do this, we can learn from elsewhere. Aldo van Eyck's plan for Amsterdam, which considers children's journey through cities, or cities like Oslo and Rotterdam, which are as concerned with children's interest and how they're represented in planning decisions and how they use public transport as much as how they play in public parks. But more importantly, we can also learn from the wealth of extraordinary Londoners who work with and for children. There are exceptional architects, some of whom have been mentioned this evening, in research and planning, like MUF and ZCD, or designing fantastic child-focused spaces like We Made That, and Erect. The Child-Friendly Cities initiative is based in London, as are PlayLink, the Playwork Foundation, and childhood thinkers and activists like Tim Gill, Penny Wilson, and Simon Ricks.
So London also has one of the richest playwork cultures of anywhere in the world, and so an extraordinary wealth of adults who have really deep and lifelong expertise in how children relate to their environment, but also how they're impacted by their environment. Within the education community, there's an idea, a very widely accepted idea, of the implicit curriculum. And that is to say that alongside the deliberate and constructed content of lessons, schools inadvertently, or at least implicitly, also teach other lessons. Lessons about cultural norms, about social organisations, about relationships with authority, and about discipline. What we really want to argue is that the built environment also has an implicit curriculum, and that from the point of view of a child, that curriculum is very often, this place isn't for you, it's not for people like you, you're not welcome here, and you're not wanted here. Design guidance needs to support the creation of a public realm with a different message. If we want to grow a generation who really feel and believe that London is theirs and is for them, who have reason to believe that London's inclusive, a welcoming and an open place and will defend that belief, then we need to address how children feel when they step out their doors, when they step outside their schools, when they go shopping with their parents, when they go to the park. We need to start a set of design guidance which will seed a culture that's not only about practical measures that we take, but that will proceed a culture where children feel welcomed and feel valued and actually are. Thank you.